Punks and Hobgoblins, we are back with yet another goated tier list. And once again, I will say this list was done through very scientific method. We use only empirical data over here at Boarology. Everything is very scientific and statistical. You can believe every word I say. Do I have charts and graphs? No, I don't. But guess what? Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. The most scientific reasoning you can use. Deal with it.
Right.
Now, I do want to say shout out to the absolute Chad, I Am Magic. He has a great YouTube channel. He goes into very scientific depth in his tier lists. Not as, in-depth as Trust Me Bro, but still pretty in-depth overall. He beat Marine Lore 2-0, and I think it was Red Bull a couple years back. Great player, real smart dude, real great list. That's where I got the idea for this Horse Archer list. Now, the reason he's inspired me to do this list, however, is because his lists are crazy. This guy ranks the units on, all the bonuses and just how straight up powerful they are if they can have the best possible situation with all the possible buffs. That is not a good way to make a list.
Daddy, chill.
I am ranking these units based on how usable they are, how actually good they are. Yes, their stats come into play. Guess what won't come into play though? Buffs. We're not going to include if they're next to a Mector or a Japanese Bannerman dude or within a tower range of bonus, anything like that. Only stats that are always with the unit, meaning upgrades, things that upgrade the unit and either have an activatable ability, like say Sipahi, or always have an upgrade. Now, these are Horse Archers, and we're going to rank these. We're soon going to do a Knight tier list to compete with I Am Magic's tier list. Now, again, I Am Magic, go watch his stuff. He's great, fantastic, but he is so wrong about the way he does his tier list. No offense meant whatsoever, but he's crazy, crazy wrong. We're talking about, if you're like me, a certified Bronze 1 gamer, what units are actually the most good and usable and powerful in your day-to-day gameplay. Now let's jump right in, starting with whatever the blazes this thing is called. I do not care because it's a steaming pile of freaking garbage.
That was really shocking and sad.
This is that unit in, I think it's Castle Age for KT, that is basically like a javelin thrower on a horse, except for it sucks. And I mean, it sucks. I've tried this unit because oh man, I'm going to try a new strat. Nope. This unit sucks. Okay. What is this thing called? The Anabu Geisha? This is basically the crossbowman on a horseback. I would say this is definitely A tier. I don't play with this unit a lot just because Japanese has a lot of options, but overall, this is a really good unit. Now, it gets countered really hard by other ranged units, really hard, and by horsemen, really hard. But if you're playing against heavy units, this unit is really, really, really good. And if you're playing team games, it can also be really good because you can travel along with your teammates' cavalry. It can just be really, really good. And it's a horseback ranged unit, so it's also good at, guess what? Raiding. Okay, this unit right here is the Ottoman jacuzzis. I don't remember the things they're called at all. I do not care. D tier. Listen, I saw somebody try to play. Maybe it was Corvinus or somebody playing a team game and you try these things out. They suck. They don't even do damage. If you look at their stats, let's just go ahead and rank the Rus Horse Archer. It's the only thing good about Rus. It's a really good unit. They are way freaking better than this unit. It's not even close. Yeah, anyway, this unit sucks. The Rus Horse Archers, however, are really good, and if you can get a mass, they can kill just about anything. Now, again, I'm not going to pull up all the different stats and stuff. I'm talking about usability and how good they are. This is not including bonuses, right? This unit is not including the Bannerman. I don't know if this unit would beat this unit straight up 1v1. I do not care. We're talking about how usable and good they are overall. This one sucks. This one is really good. So, that's how we're making this tier list. Now, the con. The con is either S tier or steaming pile of garbage. He's basically in between. And guess what? I saw something really cool. So the new DLC with all the new civs, right? The Golden Horde. Not even that interested in the civ, but one of my favorite things I saw is that the, I can't remember what they are called, but basically the knights for the civ, for the Golden Horde civ, when your con in the Golden Horde civ receives damage, that damage is deflected onto these Keshik Knights, right? That is an amazingly great idea because the problem with the con, it just gets sniped constantly. However, I still think it's pretty good. We're going to put the con A tier for sure. The con can really help your army. Great scout. Love it. Con's goated. If you run your con into the enemy TC like I do constantly, it's GG. Game's over. You can't lose that unit. Too valuable. Okay, let's go. Move on. All right, so this one I'm really torn on. This is the, was it Desert Raider, I think they're called? Yeah, this is the Camel Archer, Camel Rider, and this is the Desert Raider for Aibid. So I'm torn, man, because this can be really good with doing some raiding and stuff, and they're really tough, and they can debuff Cav. But if you're talking about, usability throughout the game, in Castle Age particularly, or in Feudal All-In, and we're talking about single player, not team games, they suck. And I mean they suck. Ranged units melt this garbage. They melt it. Like you would think, right? If you turn on the melee attack, that's just as good as horsemen. Nah, fam. This unit melts to archers, any type of ranged unit, and of course they get hit by spears. I feel like though, if you have godlike micro, if you're a pro player, I think this is definitely top of A tier. But if you're like the average player or even a pro player really, I'm going to have to put it max B tier. If I'm going off my own like liking of the unit, like C tier. But I think they're B tier. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's okay. I feel like if you're really, really good at micro, high. But if you're average at micro or you're trying to manage a lot of units, again, it's like, because once you get to here's the problem. Once you get to Castle, you ain't making this garbage. You ain't making it. You're making Camel Lancers, which are awesome. By the way, we'll be making that Knight tier list. Magic is completely wrong. Anyway, this unit just doesn't compare to the Camel Lancer at all. Okay. The Camel Archer. This unit is actually really good. It has a lot of health, so it deals better with ranged units, and it's just a mobile ranged unit that debuffs Cav. I'm honestly going to put it A tier, man. I actually think this unit's good. It's probably the best thing about Abbasid. It really is. The only thing good about Abbasid is his camel units, and this unit's pretty good. Actually, no, we're putting it top of B tier. And you know why? Because Abbasid sucks, and that's what matters. And this unit, because Abbasid sucks, is going B tier. We're talking about usability in your games. Abbasid sucks, so we're putting a B tier. Now, again, this Abbasid Camel Archer will beat a Rus Ranged Archer, but these things are super mobile, super good at raiding. You can get more of them. They're cheaper. I think they're cheaper. Yeah, they're cheaper. They're just better overall. They got more upgrades that are good. Again, this 1v1 technically beats it. Guess what? I do not care because that doesn't matter in your game. I'm not ranking these just purely on their stats, right? I'm talking about usability. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, stats come into play a lot. If the stat, like this one right here, could be S tier. Guess why it's not? Its stats suck. It's not because like I'm biased against Ottomans. I mean, I am, but its stats suck. So yeah. Okay. HRE Black Rider. I mean, this unit, if we're talking about stats, it's S tier, right? Like again, but we're not talking about stats. So I can rank unit just purely based on how powerful it is, but we're talking about how good the unit is in your actual games. In actual games, unless you're in Deep Imperial, and I mean Deep Imperial, I mean, obviously you can't get him till Imp anyway, but unless you're in Deep Imperial, they're not that good. I'm going to put them top of B tier just because they're really expensive. They're hard to micro, or I wouldn't say hard to micro, but you know, they just get sniped too easily with ranged units. You can only build a certain amount of them. And at that point, it's like, why aren't you just building a massive hand cannoneers? It's like, you know, it's kind of like, If you're playing a cavalry-centered game and you want to mix these in, it's really good. But for now, I'm going to put, in fact, I'm going to put them below these. And okay, we're moving these guys up. They're pretty good, actually. Like, their stats are just really good. And if you get a bunch of these, they're actually pretty good. The best thing about Abbasid, easy, for sure. Okay. Oh, I messed up. My bad. These graphics suck. This is the con. Again, you lose the con, it's GG. This, my friends, is none other than Mangudai. Now, in my opinion, Mangudai are the most overrated unit in the game. I mean, Mangudai, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Mangudai suck, dude. They really suck. The only time you win with Mangudai is if you get lucky. I am so freaking kidding. Here, let's fix this tier list real quick.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, we fixed the tier list. We added a new tier for Mangudai specifically. Super freaking broken. And you know why? Not only is this thing completely broken in team games, but it is also just really, really good. You can raid really easily in Feudal and Castle, even though the unit's not that good yet. But then once you get to Imp, and if you can get to Imp, and if you play pretty good, you can probably usually survive to Imp. Bro, these things are so broken. I mean, team games, again, they're busted as blazes. But in 1v1, they're so broken. Listen, these things counter pretty much every other horse archer in this list. I would say the only one, well, no, they counter these two because they're faster and they shoot while they're moving. They definitely counter Rus horse archers. Listen, I played Mass Mangudai Mass versus Mass Rus archer match. I destroyed him. Okay, it's not even close. Mangudai are just busted, dude. Honestly, they need to get, like... They need to get reduced in power in Imperial Age in some capacity. But then again, I don't really want them to because when I play Mongol, I love being absolutely broken. It's really fun. Here's the thing, though. If your opponent plays right, to be fair, if your opponent plays right, you shouldn't be able to get a massive amount of these. And in team games, I've started targeting Mongols no matter what. So if you're a Mongol player on the enemy team in a team game, screw you. I'm sending all my villagers and the boar and my TC into your base just so we can both go down together. Okay. But overall, though, I mean, Mangudai's broken, dude. What can I say? It's totally broken. With Incendiary Arrow and all your upgrades, it doesn't matter. It's GG. It doesn't matter. You can run your con into as many TCs as you want. You win the game because, like, Mangudai's busted. All right, so that was yet another factually based tier list that has real-world consequences, real-world evidence. Here at the Boarology Labs, we produce very valuable statistics of real gameplay. Not gobbledygook up what unit beats what unit. Real statistical data of what unit beat what unit. Yes, it's kind of trust me, bro. But you know what? Again, trust me, bro, is the way to go with tier lists. So trust me, bro. Mangudai busted. These things, the only good thing about Rus. These things are probably interchangeable, but Japan's just straight up better, and this is a very good support unit. This is also a very good support unit. Con, you run into the TC, it's GG. HRE, broken units, but not very usable. These things are really dependent on your skill in the game. Suck. really suck. Like, if there's one unit I would love to see buffed and changed in this game, it would actually be this unit from KT. I think it'd be a really cool unit. But that is the tier list, folks. Let me know what you think. What is the most powerful horse archer? What is your favorite horse archer? We are going to be ranking those knights soon so we can show you the true status of which is the most powerful knight in Age of Empires 4. But until next time, go win some games.